Check your time. It's 4:32 p.m. on a lovely Friday evening in the heart of the Garden City. It's time for the most respected, the most authoritative sports show this side of the world, at least on radio. We call it Sports Xtra on your classic station, Classic FM 91.1 Port-Harcourt, the station that plays every song you know. And for the next 57 and a half minutes, we'll be sinking our teeth into everything sports related. We love to refer to it as sports information dissemination in absolute totality. And this is the show where the big guns converge. Unfortunately, we will not be joined today by the Ikemba of the chamber, the king of children, the Odozi Obodo one of the zone, Charles Anazodo. He's unavoidably absent because he has to cover for Supersport Television the Aisha Buhari Cup, one of the most prestigious football competitions in the world. But he will join us on one of the most powerful men in African football. He is a man who understands how the game is run at the very, very highest level. I can tell you for a fact that this man has done the business with one of the biggest football clubs in Africa in the shape of Simba FC of Tanzania. This gentleman in question is currently the brains behind the success of the Young Africans Football Club. I love to call him Mazingiza. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Senzo Mazingiza Mbata. Senzo, how are you?
Thank you very much, Sammy, for the opportunity. I'm very well, smiling. I'm very, very delighted to be at your show this afternoon.
How long have you been in Nigeria, Senzo?
I've been here for a couple of days now. I touched down on Monday, stayed in Lagos for the day, and flew over to Port-Harcourt on Tuesday. So I've been here for about 3-4 days.
Okay. Welcome to Nigeria, Senzo. And Senzo, I can tell you, you're in the midst of greatness because in the studio is an absolute legend of Nigerian football. He was born on the 22nd of December 1970. 50 years of age. He was born somewhere in southwestern Nigeria, Ibadan, in Nigeria. He's 5'11" tall, just a little bit taller than me. He was an attacking midfielder, and he played for Femo Scorpions between 1986 and 1987. And then he caught his teeth, professionally speaking, in 1988 at the legendary Shooting Stars Sports Club in Ibadan. He played for the famous Julius Berger in 1989, and then went on to play for probably the most famous football club in the world. Some call them Los Blancos, some go for Los Merengues, some go for the Galacticos. He played for Real Madrid between 1989 and 1992 alongside the greats like Raul Gonzalez Blanco. He also played for Racing Santander, Real Sociedad, Al Ittihad, Salamanca, Samson Spor, IEL, Limassol, Edense, and Corvinia. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the legend himself, the headmaster, Muchu Adepoju. Headmaster, how are you?
Hello, Sammy. Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I want to say hello to everybody in the studio. Fine, thank you. Very well. Thank you very much.
Okay.
For the accolades and for the introduction.
Brilliant. Muchu, so much to talk about today, but I'll put Senzo straight on the hot seat. Senzo, a big game coming through this weekend. Rivers United against Young Africans. Second leg preliminary round clash in the most glamorous club competition in the world, the CAF Champions League. Yanga were beaten by Rivers United 1-0 in Dar es Salaam 5 days ago. That was a bit of a shock to a lot who follow African football because Simba is a legendary club. Rivers United, Yanga is a legendary club in Africa. Rivers United, not so much so, but Rivers United go to your own stately patch and beat you by 1-0. Where did you guys get it wrong 5 days ago?
I think you've said it very well when you said that African football has got its own surprises. You know, nobody goes to a pitch to plan to lose, whether you're away or you're at home. Nobody goes there to lose. Unfortunately for us, we just didn't have a good game. Rivers United came with everything they had. They got the chance, they scored, and then the game ended 1-0. You know, it's football. Though we are so disappointed with the result, you know, they did it in the first 90 minutes. Who can stop us? We will also do it in the 90 minutes. So, yes, in the first round it was not to be for us, but we are here again in Port-Harcourt to ensure that we redeem ourselves.
Okay, Mutiu, I don't know how surprised you were that Rivers United went to Tanzania, to Dar es Salaam to get a result. How shocked were you by that 1-0 success by Rivers United?
Well, I can't be shocked. You know, I mean, anything that is positive in football, and I mean, for the Nigerian team, I'm sorry I'm saying this, I mean, Senzo, but I mean, Rivers United, I'm a Nigerian, and I have to support them in Nigerian team. I was...
Hello, Bryce. Almost saying Bryce Green. Mutiu, go ahead.
All over the years. I mean, yeah.
Mutiu, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I know what Rivers United have been doing all this over the years, and I believe they tried as much as possible, and they went there. They get one goal and 3 points, which is very, very good. But that's not.
Hello, Mutiu, can you hear me?
Still, Dicey. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Yeah. That the first leg, 3 points. It's very good, but that's not the end of it. The second leg, is going to be very, very difficult because Yanga, is a known and well-established team in Africa. Game, and we're going to see a very interesting game.
Okay, thanks, Mutiu. Now, Senzo, what's the mood like amongst the young African players? Have they let their head dropped? Have they said to themselves, look, we couldn't beat Rivers United at home. How can we go to Nigeria? How can we come to Port-Harcourt and beat such a side who, like many who watched the game said, completely played young Africans off the park in your own ground? What are the young African players saying to themselves?
Look, the fact of the matter remains, there's the number one, yes, we're not one of our best back home in Tanzania. However, if you look at the stats, the number of chances we also missed, if you take that into account and you look at how we played towards the last 20 or 15 minutes of the game, you realize that the team started to wake up a little bit late. However, it was too late, as they say, How can you let your head down? You can't do that. In sports and in football, where you constantly in competition, you cannot afford to have your head down. So I can tell you now, the reports I got from Dar es Salaam is that the boys are hyped up. Everybody is looking forward to this match, and it's an opportunity to redeem ourselves from what shocker we had back home. So no one is thinking about the match on Sunday. We are looking forward to the coming match here in Port-Harcourt.
Okay, and I got reports that Rivers United were badly treated. I got reports that doctored COVID-19 results were brandished by CAF officials who liaised with officials of young Africans. What can you tell us?
It is very shameful. It is very upset and is very disrespectful to the authorities back in Tanzania.
Sorry, are you hearing this for the first time?
No, I'm not hearing for the first time. But it's very unfortunate that such a big institution like a national laboratory in Tanzania can be labeled as such to have doctored results. Really, that is very shameful, and it's something that it should not even spoken about. I don't know where these assertions come from. Tanzania as a government has got a high regard for their standards as a country. They run a very well-respected national laboratory lab. For information, Sammy, unlike other countries like here, for instance, in Nigeria or Port-Harcourt, where you have a number of independent laboratories and stuff, everything in Tanzania, we've got one national lab. So I don't know how people can even imagine us tampering with
Sorry, when you say people, now this is an internationally recognized radio station. We don't just peddle around frivolous stories. We're not saying people said this. I'm going to mention a name.
Yeah.
The person who said this has a name, has a surname. His name is Bryce Chris Green. He is the Supremo, the sole administrator of Rivers United FC, and he said exactly the things I said. Now let's listen to Bryce Chris Green. He is on Sports Xtra. This is not about Sammy talking now. I wasn't there. But Bryce Chris Green, he's a lawyer. He's a man of the law, and he says, I can swear under oath that these were the things done by Yanga. So I ask, why do you do these things?
First of all, I would like to send my sincere sympathies to those that were affected by the alleged conduct, as the sole administrator of Rivers United has alluded in the clip that I've just listened to. But for my own accord, I've got a video here. When I went down to the change room, as I was walking to the change room, because I heard there was a commotion downstairs, I did see one official sitting down on the floor, and I inquired what happened. Apparently there was a scuffle because there was a forced entry, something of that nature. I cannot.
Forced entry from who? By who?
Forced entry from the other officials. They could not wait for them to
officials of Yanga?
No.
Of Rivers United.
Yes.
Why would they do that?
They could not wait for the gate to be open on their behalf. So that is erupted in a scuffle. That I can attest to.
Were the turnstiles opened when they were supposed to be opened?
When they came in, I asked what happened. The answer from the head of security is that we were about to open them, but they forced themselves in. That I cannot run away from.
Does it add up? Like, the officials want to open the gates, then they wouldn't. I'm like, it doesn't really add up.
Yeah, give me a chance so that I can read it up for you. The delegation of the Rivers United, as they came into the gates were open. When they got to the main entrance that they go into their change room, that particular door was not opened.
Why wasn't it opened?
Well, it was not open at the time. There were security guards who were supposed to open the gate.
No, I'm asking, why wasn't it opened at the time? Because the officials knew there was a football match on that day. They knew the visiting team, Rivers United, would want to use that entrance. So I asked, why wasn't that gate opened at the time?
At the time, the gate was not open.
Because?
The gate was not open at the time.
Why?
I could not tell you why it was not open.
Was it supposed to be opened at that time?
It was supposed to open at the time.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it was supposed to open at the time, and then there was a scuffle that erupted. Then I went down as well just to establish what has happened, and I realized that there was a scuffle, and the explanation was given to us was that. So I apologize to some of the guys who were there. I didn't even know the head administrator of Rivers United.
You never met him before?
I know him from
a distance?
Yeah, from a distance. I've never met him. We spoke to some of the guys who were around. They had a liaison officer from Tanzania who was a Nigerian. We spoke to him in length. We even spoke at the VIP lounge about the same incident. If you allow me to move on to the other allegation of...
Go ahead, please.
If the allegation of the tests, that there was a collusion with test, we don't have control of the tests of the COVID. We don't have a control over it. That is controlled by the national lab. So there is no way that young Africans can be drawn into this and say they are the ones that doctored the results. That is very, very, very unfair on the club. By the way, on the same day, we had about 4 tests which were positive as well from our side, which included our coach and some of the players. And by the way, Sammy, this information comes to light after a number of incidences happened and after such reports that we are getting from you now that the administrator from our fellow colleagues in Tanzania has alleged. So one has to go back and find out exactly what happened, why some things have happened the way they've happened. So it's something.
Sorry, just before you go ahead, a bit on the COVID situation.
Yeah.
The Rivers United people say, and they say they can back it up with facts and proof, that before the contingent left Nigeria, they conducted COVID tests. The results all turned out to be negative. And they said upon arrival, they conducted COVID tests in Dar es Salaam, returned negative as well. But at the moment officials of Young Africans got involved, CAF officials got involved, that results returned positive. And they mentioned key players of Rivers United FC. And I had a chat with Barrister Chris Green less than an hour ago, and he confirmed to me that 7 Rivers United players are still in Tanzania as I speak. The players who returned negative tests. And these are the players who Barrister Green said had this test in Nigeria. Upon arrival in Tanzania, test returned negative. So some are saying foul play. Things are not adding up, to borrow that phrase again.
You're welcome to use the phrases that you choose to use, Semi. Fact of the matter remains, young Africans are not responsible for any of the results of COVID tests. COVID tests are administered by CAF officials.
They talk about collusion.
you cannot draw me to collusions which I'm not a party to or I know of. It is very unfair for you to draw me to collusions.
No, I'm asking a question.
I'm responding to a question. It would be very unfair for you to draw me to collusions. I'm telling you facts on the table. CAF official appointed doctor is responsible for the COVID test of any official or players that are responsible or rather taking part in any match that is under CAF jurisdiction. As I'm saying to you, you cannot now put Yanga, we don't do tests. Yanga, we don't control the tests of COVID. And I'm saying that in Tanzania, we've got one national lab. It will also be unfair to put the Tanzanian health authorities under so much pressure and finger pointing while they did their work with the CAF official. So one thing I can agree with you is that there will forever be these shenanigans and trust issues and pointing fingers in our football.
Why?
And
why would that always be the case?
Because now Rivers United are alleging that there was a foul play. Yanga will come back and say there was no foul play. We will come today with our test fully negative and come to Rivers United, play our match, and we are told that we've got some cases of COVID. That will always...
Has that been confirmed?
Sorry?
Has that been confirmed?
What has been confirmed?
You just talked about players of Yanga, or are you talking about a hypothetical situation of Yanga players testing positive upon arrival in Nigeria?
Before we boarded the plane this evening, you cannot leave Tanzania without
a player who is
you cannot
positive,
do that.
Yeah.
So we've received our lists and our tests have been confirmed. Or everybody who's in a plane coming to Nigeria has tested negative for the COVID.
If I may interject, I'm not making a definite statement, but I'm looking at the worst case scenario now.
Yeah.
Would you be shocked to hear that upon testing in Nigeria that some of your players returned positive results for COVID?
Who am I to come up and dispute a lab that tells me that my players, all I can do is to retest.
If that happens, what do? You
try and do a retest. That's all you can do. You can try and do a retest. That means you have an issue with the particular lab that has given you a result. You go to an alternative lab, you do the test. Then you compare the tests if those tests are the same. If you've got a doubt of whatever the result you're getting. But to point a finger and say something has happened, I am not that kind of person. I would not do that because it's not within my...
So whatever happens, you will accept it?
Whatever happens, you accept and you make other plans. Like I'm saying, I come in, I test a positive, even myself, I came in, I tested, if I test a positive, for instance, I'll go to another lab and get an alternative result. Let me go back to my statement that you stopped me from saying. I'm saying to you, until such time also, we must also first acknowledge that the COVID situation has really created a lot of instability and mistrust in our football. Number two, I think there should be a better mechanism of managing this COVID situation because indeed it can create unnecessary hatred, panic.
Said you poisoned, Yanga poisoned the changing room of Rivers United with some poisonous substance. I don't know what substance he's talking about. He said the chief coach of Rivers United, Ndubisi Nduka, was a recipient, for lack of a better phrase, of the poison, and he passed out.
Same on a serious note now. Now your visitors come, you go and poison the change room. Really? You see, I would want to distance myself from, because I've heard the chief administrator of the club saying that they were alerted later on by SIMBA officials that these are the things that they do. You see, when you start bringing such things, now you're polluting the whole thing. It's a bit difficult now to stand as young Africans and respond to the issues fairly and to an extent of giving a fair analysis of what has happened. Now somebody tells you now they do this, they put spray in the... There's nothing like that. I cannot tell you that. And also, these things, it's easy to follow them up. Remember, there's CAF officials, there's MESH commissioners. Obviously, in their reports, these are the things that they put, that we went to the change room, there was a foul smell, everything like this. They will record those things to show that this has really happened. So they said, we say, they saw this, we say this. I am telling you now, I'm going back to my point. One incident which I can confirm there was a scuffle when the team came in. And you asked me very pertinent question, Senzo, why the gate was not open. These things I'll follow up. Guys, you know the guys were coming. Why didn't you open the gate? Why did they have to push to
hindsight is a beautiful thing. You told me that at that time you had no idea why the turnstiles were not thrown open.
It's true.
You've investigated.
It's true.
Have you found out why? 5 days later, why the gates were not opened at that particular
the one meaning the particular gate was not on station at the time he was supposed to be the station. That is the reason why they were not opened.
Okay.
And it didn't take even 3-4 minutes for them to open. That is the reason why it was not open.